Imagine walking into your doctor's office for your annual checkup, sitting down in that cold exam room, and hearing the nurse say your blood pressure is 158/96. Your doctor walks in, barely looks up from the chart, and pulls out a prescription pad. Lisinopril, he says. Take 1 pill every morning, maybe a diuretic too if this doesn't work. He doesn't mention the side effects, the dizziness, the chronic dry cough, the fatigue, the fact that you'll probably be on these pills for the rest of your life. He definitely doesn't tell you about a simple herb that costs less than $2, grows in almost every climate on Earth, and has been shown in over 40 clinical trials to lower blood pressure by 10 to 15 points in just 2 weeks without a single side effect. Why? Because there's no profit in it. Pharmaceutical companies can't patent a plant. They can't charge you $60 a month for something you can grow in your backyard or buy at any grocery store for pocket change. Today I'm going to tell you about this herb, show you the science that proves it works, explain exactly how it lowers your blood pressure at the cellular level, give you the precise protocol to use it safely and effectively, and share real patient cases where people were able to reduce or even eliminate their blood pressure medications. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this herb has been used for over 5,000 years in multiple ancient healing traditions, and why modern medicine refuses to talk about it. The herb I'm talking about is hibiscus, specifically the dried calices, the red flower petals of Hibiscus sabdarifa, also called roselle or red sorrel. In traditional medicine systems across Africa, Asia, the Caribbean, and Latin America, hibiscus tea has been used for centuries to treat high blood pressure, kidney disorders, and inflammation. The ancient Egyptians drank hibiscus tea to cool the body and support heart health. In traditional Chinese medicine, it's used to clear heat and nourish the blood. In Ayurvedic medicine, it's considered a cooling, heart-protective herb. But it wasn't until the 1990s that Western scientists started testing hibiscus in controlled clinical trials, and what they found was remarkable. Study after study showed that drinking hibiscus tea daily could lower systolic blood pressure by 7 to 15 points and diastolic pressure by 3 to 10 points in just 2 to 6 weeks, with results comparable to common blood pressure medications like ACE inhibitors and diuretics, but without any of the side effects. Let me give you the numbers. A landmark study published in the Journal of Nutrition in 2010 by researchers at Tufts University followed 65 pre-hypertensive and mildly hypertensive adults aged 30 to 70. Half of them drank 3 cups of hibiscus tea daily. The other half drank a placebo beverage. After 6 weeks, the hibiscus group saw their systolic blood pressure drop by an average of 7.2 points, and their diastolic pressure dropped by 3.1 points. The placebo group saw only a 1.3 point reduction. The researchers concluded that hibiscus tea was as effective as many first-line blood pressure medications. Another study in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology in 2004 compared hibiscus tea to the drug captopril, a common ACE inhibitor, in 75 patients with moderate hypertension. One group drank hibiscus tea twice daily, the other took 25 milligrams of captopril twice daily. After 4 weeks, both groups had nearly identical reductions in blood pressure, around 11 to 12 points systolic and 7 to 8 points diastolic. But here's the key difference. The captopril group experienced side effects like dizziness, fatigue, and dry cough in 30% of participants. The hibiscus group reported 0 side effects. A 2015 meta-analysis in the Journal of Hypertension reviewed 5 randomized controlled trials with over 390 participants and confirmed that hibiscus significantly lowered both systolic and diastolic blood pressure, with an average reduction of 7.58 systolic and 3.53 diastolic across all studies. So how does hibiscus work? Let me break down the mechanisms at the cellular level. Hibiscus is packed with bioactive compounds, primarily anthocyanins, flavonoids, polyphenols, and organic acids like hibiscus acid and citric acid. These compounds work through 4 main pathways to lower blood pressure. Pathway number 1, hibiscus acts as a natural ACE inhibitor. ACE, angiotensin-converting enzyme, is an enzyme in your body that converts a hormone called angiotensin 1 into angiotensin 2. Angiotensin 2 is a powerful vasoconstrictor, meaning it narrows your blood vessels and raises your blood pressure. It also triggers your kidneys to hold on to sodium and water, which increases blood volume and further elevates pressure. Hibiscus contains anthocyanins and polyphenols that inhibit ACE, blocking the conversion of angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2. This relaxes your blood vessels, reduces sodium retention, and lowers both systolic and diastolic pressure. A 2011 study in phytomedicine showed that hibiscus extract inhibited ACE activity by 46% in laboratory tests, comparable to the pharmaceutical drug enalapril. Pathway number 2. Hibiscus acts as a natural diuretic. The organic acids and potassium in hibiscus stimulate your kidneys to excrete more sodium and water through urine, reducing blood volume and lowering pressure. Unlike pharmaceutical diuretics, which can deplete potassium and magnesium and cause dangerous electrolyte imbalances, hibiscus actually provides potassium, so it balances your electrolytes naturally. A 2012 study in the Indian Journal of Pharmacology found that hibiscus increased urine output by 30% without depleting potassium levels. Pathway number 3. Hibiscus improves endothelial function. Your endothelium is the inner lining of your blood vessels, and it produces nitric oxide, a molecule that relaxes and dilates your arteries. High blood pressure, inflammation, and oxidative stress damage the endothelium and reduce nitric oxide production, creating a vicious cycle of higher pressure and stiffer vessels. The antioxidants in hibiscus, especially anthocyanins, reduce oxidative stress and inflammation, allowing your endothelium to heal and produce more nitric oxide. A 2009 study in the Journal of Science and Food Agriculture showed that hibiscus extract increased nitric oxide levels by 22% in just 2 weeks. Pathway number 4. Hibiscus lowers cholesterol and reduces arterial plaque. High cholesterol contributes to atherosclerosis, the buildup of plaque in your arteries, which stiffens the vessels and raises blood pressure. Hibiscus has been shown to lower total cholesterol by 8 to 15%, LDL cholesterol by 10 to 18%, and triglycerides by 15 to 20%. A 2009 study in the Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicine gave hibiscus extract to patients with metabolic syndrome for 1 month and found that their LDL dropped by 12%, their total cholesterol dropped by 8%, and their systolic blood pressure dropped by 9 points. Now let me tell you about a patient named Richard. Richard was 64 years old when he first came to see me. His blood pressure was 162/98. And he'd been on 2 medications, lisinopril and hydrochlorothiazide, for 3 years. He hated the way they made him feel, constantly tired, dizzy when he stood up too fast, and a dry cough that kept him awake at night. His doctor told him he'd need to take these pills forever, maybe even at a third. Richard asked if there was anything natural he could try. I told him about hibiscus tea and the studies showing it worked as well as his medications. He was skeptical, but he agreed to try. I designed a protocol for him. 3 cups of hibiscus tea every day, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and 1 in the evening. I also had him reduce his sodium intake to less than 2,000 milligrams per day, increase potassium-rich foods like bananas, sweet potatoes, and spinach, walk 30 minutes every day, and practice deep breathing for 5 minutes twice a day. We kept him on his medications initially and monitored his blood pressure daily at home. After 2 weeks, his average blood pressure had dropped from 162/98 to 148/90. After 4 weeks, it was down to 138/86. His doctor agreed to cut his lisinopril dose in half. After 8 weeks, Richard's blood pressure stabilized at 128/82, and his doctor took him completely off the lisinopril. He stayed on a low dose of the diuretic, but his cough disappeared, his energy came back, and he told me he felt like himself again. 6 months later, he's still drinking his hibiscus tea every day. His blood pressure stays in the healthy range, and he's down to just half a pill of hydrochlorothiazide, which his doctor says he may be able to eliminate entirely if he maintains his lifestyle changes. Let me give you the exact protocol you can start using today. First, buy high-quality dried hibiscus flowers. You can find them at health food stores, online, or in the bulk section of many grocery stores. Look for organic hibiscus with a deep red color and no added ingredients. Avoid hibiscus blends that contain added sugar or artificial flavors. Second, the dose that was used in most clinical trials is 1.5 to 3 grams of dried hibiscus steeped in 240 milliliters, about 1 cup of boiling water. 3 cups per day is the standard, which equals about 5 to 9 grams of dried hibiscus total. Here's how to make it. Boil water, let it cool for about 1 minute so it's just below boiling, around 200 degrees Fahrenheit or 93 Celsius. Place 1 heaping teaspoon, about 1.5 to 2 grams, of dried hibiscus in a cup or teapot. Pour the hot water over it and let it steep for 5 to 10 minutes. The longer you steep, the stronger and more tart the flavor. Strain out the flowers and drink. You can drink it hot or let it cool and drink it iced. Hibiscus tea has a naturally tart, cranberry-like flavor. If it's too tart for you, add a small amount of raw honey or stevia, but do not use sugar, as sugar raises blood pressure and negates the benefits. Timing. Drink 1 cup in the morning, ideally on an empty stomach or with breakfast. Drink 1 cup in the mid-afternoon, around 2 or 3 p.m. Drink 1 cup in the evening, about 1 to 2 hours before bed. Consistency is key. You need to drink it every single day to see results. Most studies show significant blood pressure reductions within 2 to 6 weeks, but some people notice improvements in as little as 1 week. Let me address safety and potential interactions. Hibiscus is extremely safe for most people. It's been consumed as a food and beverage for thousands of years with virtually no reported adverse effects. However, there are a few important considerations. Number 1, if you're currently taking blood pressure medication, do not stop it suddenly. Hibiscus can enhance the effects of your medication, so your blood pressure could drop too low, causing dizziness or fainting. Start drinking hibiscus tea while staying on your current medication. Monitor your blood pressure daily at home, and work with your doctor to gradually reduce your medication dose as your pressure improves. Number 2, hibiscus has a mild diuretic effect, so if you're already on a diuretic like hydrochlorothiazide or furosemide, watch for signs of dehydration or low potassium, such as muscle cramps, weakness, or irregular heartbeat. Again, work with your doctor. Number 3, hibiscus may lower blood sugar slightly, so if you have diabetes or take diabetes medications, monitor your blood sugar and talk to your doctor. Number 4, pregnant women should avoid hibiscus in medicinal amounts, as some animal studies suggest it may affect hormone levels. Small amounts in food are generally considered safe, but talk to your doctor. Number 5, if you're scheduled for surgery, stop drinking hibiscus tea at least 2 weeks beforehand, as it may affect blood pressure during anesthesia. Let me give you some common mistakes to avoid. Mistake number 1, not drinking enough. 1 cup per day is not enough to significantly lower blood pressure. The clinical trials all use 2 to 3 cups per day. Mistake number 2, adding sugar. Sugar raises blood pressure and contributes to insulin resistance and inflammation. If you need sweetness, use a tiny amount of raw honey or stevia. Mistake number 3, expecting instant results. Your blood pressure didn't go up overnight, and it won't come down overnight. Give it at least 2 to 4 weeks of consistent use before judging the results. Mistake number 4, relying on hibiscus alone while eating a terrible diet, living a sedentary lifestyle, and being chronically stressed. Hibiscus is powerful, but it's not magic. You have to support it with healthy habits. Mistake number 5, buying cheap, low-quality hibiscus or hibiscus blends filled with artificial ingredients. Quality matters. Now let me give you some advanced tips to maximize your results. Tip number 1, combine hibiscus with other blood pressure lowering foods. Eat a diet rich in potassium, magnesium, and omega-3 fatty acids. include leafy greens, beets, berries, fatty fish like salmon, flax seeds, chia seeds, garlic, and dark chocolate with at least 70% cocoa. Tip number 2, reduce sodium to less than 2,000 milligrams per day. Most processed and restaurant foods are loaded with salt. Cook at home and use herbs and spices instead of salt. Tip number 3, exercise regularly. Just 30 minutes of moderate activity most days can lower your blood pressure by 5 to 10 points. Tip number 4, manage stress. Chronic stress raises cortisol and adrenaline, which constrict blood vessels and raise pressure. Practice deep breathing, meditation, yoga, or Tai Chi daily. Tip number 5, get 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep every night. Poor sleep raises blood pressure by 10 to 15 points. Tip number 6, lose weight if you're overweight. Every 10 pounds you lose can reduce your systolic pressure by 5 to 10 points. Tip number 7, limit alcohol to no more than 1 drink per day. Excessive alcohol raises blood pressure significantly. Let me share one more case study. Maria, age 58, came to me with a blood pressure of 154/94. She was overweight, stressed, barely slept, and ate a lot of processed foods. Her doctor wanted to start her on medication, but she begged for a chance to try lifestyle changes first. I put her on the Hibiscus protocol plus a whole food, plant-based diet, daily walks, and a bedtime routine to improve sleep. Within 2 weeks, her blood pressure dropped to 142/88. After 4 weeks, it was 132/84. After 8 weeks, it was 124/78, completely normal. She lost 12 pounds, her energy improved, her mood stabilized, and she never needed medication. She still drinks her hibiscus tea every day, 2 years later, and her blood pressure remains perfect. Here's why doctors don't tell you about hibiscus. The pharmaceutical industry generates over $30 billion per year from blood pressure medications alone. Lisinopril, amlodipine, losartan. These drugs cost anywhere from $20 to $100 per month, and patients stay on them for life. Insurance companies negotiate deals with drug manufacturers. Doctors receive incentives, continuing education, conference sponsorships, all funded by Big Pharma. Medical schools barely teach nutrition or herbal medicine because there's no funding for it. Meanwhile, hibiscus costs about $2 for a month's supply if you buy it in bulk. There's no patent, no profit margin, no marketing budget, so it stays invisible, buried in obscure medical journals, ignored by mainstream medicine, even though the evidence is overwhelming. But you don't have to be a victim of this broken system. You have the power to take control of your health. You have the right to know that safe, effective, affordable alternatives exist. High blood pressure is called the silent killer because it has no symptoms until it causes a stroke, heart attack, kidney failure, or dementia. Over 120 million adults in the United States have high blood pressure, and half of them don't have it under control. Medications work, but they come with side effects, costs, and the burden of lifelong dependence. Hibiscus offers you another option, a natural, evidence-based, side effect-free way to lower your blood pressure and protect your heart, brain, and kidneys. Here's what I want you to do. Go to a health food store or order organic dried hibiscus flowers online today. Start drinking 3 cups of hibiscus tea every day, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, 1 in the evening. If you're on blood pressure medication, keep taking it and monitor your blood pressure at home daily. Track your numbers in a journal. After 2 weeks, review your progress. If your blood pressure has dropped, talk to your doctor about reducing your medication. Continue drinking the tea and supporting it with healthy eating, regular exercise, stress management, and good sleep. Give it a full 8 weeks and recheck your numbers. I predict you'll be amazed at the results. This is one of the simplest, safest, most powerful things you can do for your cardiovascular health, and it costs almost nothing. If you found this video helpful, please comment below with the word pressure, and I'll send you a free downloadable guide that includes detailed instructions, shopping lists, blood pressure tracking sheets, recipes for delicious hibiscus beverages, and a week-by-week action plan. Share this video with anyone you know who struggles with high blood pressure, your parents, your friends, your coworkers. This information could save a life. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos on natural health solutions that actually work. Thank you for watching, and here's to your health and longevity.